His end goals in life will be to sit steady and flush birds and be a bad mamma jamma down in Texas. Hey everybody, Ethan here with Standing Stone, and we're back for another video with Trip. This little cocker is doing fantastic. Loves to work, loves to train, and we're in the 2 to 4 week category where there's a lot of different goals that we have in our retriever training program. You can find this at standingstonesupply.com. It's under the courses section, okay? What we're working on right now though is teaching all of the individual little obedience behaviors that are going to help us get through life. We worked on targeting. That's going to be built into recall. We're also going to be working on sitting and place training. Those are the big ones that we put in this zone. Today, we're going to work on sit. Now, the reason that we selected sit is it's arguably one of the most important things that this guy's going to need to know through development. But the other side of it is he's showing sit a lot. He's offering that behavior would be the best way to kind of explain that. So we're going to use that to our advantage and teach him that working for things and thinking and learning is all beneficial. So today we're going to start marking sitting, and we'll show you kind of when you should introduce the cue, which probably won't be today, but could be as early as the end of this session. So we'll evaluate as we go. We'll be working on how to teach Trip to sit. I have his morning meal. He's eating Eukanuba Puppy Pro, and you're gonna make that look silly. I'm almost not even paying attention well enough. So his morning meal is, this is why we were going to teach this one. We haven't started working on it yet, but the only way that we've started working on it a little bit is by not encouraging or not rewarding him for jumping when we were doing targeting, because we were down in this zone and I just would wait until he would stop jumping. And when we do that, you start to see that behavior more and more and more. So we're gonna incorporate the cue, I think, based on what I'm seeing already toward the end of this session. Good. I'm moving my feet. I'm giving him a small handful of food, and a lot of things have happened. I wanna say, he's eating Eukanuba Puppy Pro formula right now. This is what we're training with. It's not special treats, it's not anything else. We encourage puppies to work for their meals because it's a very important part of development. Understanding that nothing comes free, especially for working dogs. There you go. Killing it. You are killing it. I'm giving him a small handful. You wanna, if that's one kibble at a time, you need to find a reward. Good. That he can eat quickly and it doesn't take away from the training session. Good. He's making this look really, really easy. And guys, literally this is the first session that we've marked or worked on sitting, but I knew he was ready for it because he's showing it so much. Now, when you've got a dog that's this consistently doing something, okay, this is where we're going to introduce the cue. Sit. Now, if you catch the timing there, I tried to hold that until right before his butt touched the ground. I don't want him hip-hopping around. I want him to start associating that word that we just applied. We know what it means because we understand English. And those that don't understand English, you have a different word for sit, right? You're probably not watching this video. Good. Sit. Nice job. Cue is a little bit slow, but it's right about the same time. Sit. Good. Make sure that your clicker, that's the most important part here, clicking when his butt touches the ground. Watch me. If you see my timing off, put it in the comments, please. Sit. Good. Good boy. Okay. He's doing it really, really well. I'm starting to recognize a small pattern of when I stop moving my feet, he butt plants, right? So I'm going to start using the cue just before. We're going to get to build a lot here. Sit. Good. Now, please understand, he by no means knows how to respond to the cue sit or knows what that means, but we're able to keep a very controlled, session setup. This is a training time, training window, and we're able to build off of things in these small sessions. They're very important. 2 sessions a day, 2 meals a day with your puppy. You need to be doing this, especially in these early stages. Through the first 4 months to 6 months, every day, twice a day is huge. Sit. Good boy. Encouragement is important. Don't make it too encouraging or you'll distract from your training session and prevent progress. Sit. Good boy. There you go. He's eating about 3 or 4 kibble each time we do this. Sit. Good. Nice. I dropped a kibble there. I want to talk about this. This is a very important thing. I see some people do this and encourage their puppy to run off and chase food because that's a fun game as well. It also distracts from training and learning. Then you have a puppy that starts looking to the ground, trying to find additional treats and snacks and things like he's doing right there. He checked a little spot on the floor to see if he could go eat that. It's going to hold you back a little bit with a little puppy. So sit, try and make sure that everything is coming out of your hand. I mentioned this in the last video or one of the previous videos. I'm using my left hand to reward him to continue to pull focus to this side of my body, which is ultimately where I want him to be from a healing standpoint and everything else going forward. If you want your dog on your right side, use your right side, right hand to reward them. He gravitates to this side, so I'm putting more emphasis on helping him gravitate to the left. Sit. Good boy. This little guy is part of the El Tesoro program, so his end goals in life will be to sit steady and flush birds and be a bad mama jamma down in Texas at the ranch. Sit. He ultimately will sit steady to flush. Sit. Good. So when the pointers find birds, he'll run in, flush them, sit on flush, and then retrieve on cue. Sit. Good boy. Nice. Sit. Good. Let's work through some reps and get through the rest of this session here. Sit. Good. Again, not 1 kibble at a time unless your dog really is slow to eat, but sit. These sessions should take approximately less than 15 minutes. Some of them as short as even 5 minutes is okay. Sit. If your puppy loses focus at any time during this session, and I'm not like squirrel and comes back to you, but if they just say, man, I'm not really interested anymore, end the session, end the meal. Sit. Good. Sit. That was a few too many. That kind of slowed him down a little bit. Good. They're just deciding to crunch a handful of them. Sit. Kind of a cool thing about this puppy food is it has a hole in the middle of it, and it actually encourages chewing. Sit. More than other puppy food does. So, very unique feature. Sit. Good. Sit. There's an example, right? He doesn't know what this means yet. Very subtle body language from me, just a slight movement. Sit. Good. Now you can start to see him kind of gravitate to my left. That's where I want him to continue to focus. Sit. Good boy. Later, we'll do a drill similar to this that will kind of shape a healing position, and it'll be fun to watch too. Where are you at, bud? Sit. Good. Nice job. Clickers mark and end behaviors. Sit. Wasn't done eating. Sit. Hold that a second longer. Clickers mark and end behavior. So when you click, if your dog gets up and runs around, perfectly fine. Sit. If you want to hold that behavior for a second longer, hold your click for a second longer. And it starts to show sitting for a second is what we're asking now. Sit. We're growing a lot in this session, moving pretty quick. Challenge your dogs. Find the point, sit, that you're asking too much. Challenge your dogs. Find the point that you're asking too much, back off a little bit, and then stay in that zone. You need to be able to continue to grow. If you sit stagnant, sit. Your dog will get bored with the training. If they get bored, then they don't want to learn, they don't want to pay attention. I've got one more little handful, and then we'll wrap this one up. Sit. Good. Great eye contact. Absolutely fantastic. This guy is really, really smart, really fun to work with. If you are struggling, folks, your puppy doesn't look like little Trip, okay? You're trying to work on sitting, he doesn't focus or anything else, just doesn't seem to be going right. Please don't hesitate to reach out. StandingStoneKennels.com. We have a link there for Patreon. It is a private subscription-based section to help guide you through your training process. They don't all look the same, they don't all act the same. And the most powerful tool that we have to offer you trying to train at home is our ability to read dogs and dog training situations. Let us do that. Let us help you. Patreon.com/StandingStoneKennels. I'm the guy with the pink gun. This is Trip. We'll see you in the next video.